What is going on, Pokemon Global League fans? My name is Powder, and I am here with...
How's it going, guys? Equal Plays here, and welcome to the Week 1 Power Rankings of the PGL.
Hey, I'm
Yeah,
excited. I'm excited.
I'm excited as well.
I just like judging people, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
basically.
I judge people on the streets, and I'm going to judge them in league format. Isn't that great?
That's perfect. It's what I do every day, mate.
That's how life is supposed to be lived. Okay, so, this week was kind of wonky. There was a lot that happened, and it was just, it's pretty crazy. Because there was a lot of, I feel like there were a lot of wins that we didn't see coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah, definitely.
there were some things like, there was obviously a sweep that happened. There was, I guess you could say, potential upsets, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's just you didn't expect the person to lose and they lost, and it's crazy. Not only that, this was a pretty hacksful week. We can say that as well.
Definitely.
We can say that as well. So, how about we get started?
All right, sounds good.
Okay. So, do you want to start with your number 12?
My number 12, all right. My number 12, I'm pretty sure yours is the same one as well. I put the Seattle Smeargles down at number 12, sadly losing 5-0 to Anesta and the Detroit Cavalians.
Yeah. That's okay. First of all, Sketchy he's a good guy. His mind is in the right place. He's very motivated. Especially if you saw his interview. The guy talked for 30 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
He really knows what he wants to do, but unfortunately, the biggest problem Sketchy has, and this was an issue last season as well, is that he doesn't really look into his genning, he doesn't look into his team building, because and it causes him issues, because team building is probably the biggest part of the battle.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you notice that from his team, obviously?
Yeah, the one thing that I really noticed about it is if you look at Anesta's draft, it's obvious to me that he was going to bring the Aegislash.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you? And I don't know if it's just me or not. Looking back at Sketchy's draft, the only thing that he really has to counter it is the Arcanine, which you can run physical, you can run special, you can run bulky. So really, he didn't even need to worry about King Shield. He could just get around that with a special Arcanine, and it didn't show. And I thought that was just strange to me. I don't know.
It's not only that, but that was one of the biggest things. I noticed that Aegislash is coming. It's coming. Okay, there's no reason for him not to bring it. It's it's in Ubers for a reason, you know.
Yeah.
And then another issue that we saw later on in the match, and Nestor started laughing at this point. I'm not sure if you watched Nestor's point of view.
No, Sketchy's.
And Nestor just felt like he was laughing. He just started laughing because Sketchy used Hyper Voice, and it said
this thing.
it does not affect Aegislash. The thing is, if you're running Pixelate, it will affect it. Okay?
Yeah, it won't do crazy damage, but it'll do something.
Yeah, it'll do something. Point is that you ran Cute Charm. That's not that's not something you do, especially with Sylveon. The idea behind Sylveon is to run Pixelate because Pixelate is amazing. Fairy is one of the best typings here, and that could have changed the course of the entire game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's such an easy thing to mess up in genning. It's just messing up the ability. It's so simple to do, and I feel if he'd have genned it right, it wouldn't have saved him the match, but it would have definitely, at least hurt the Aegislash a bit more, maybe given him a better fighting chance at beating it, if nothing else.
Exactly, and it's annoying to see Sketchy just get put into this position early on because he did that last season as well. First week, he lost 6-0. This week, he lost 5-0. Okay? Not only that, but by losing 5-0, I'll give it to Nestor, but you also give the opponent a very big lead. Okay? In this format, if you want to win, you don't want to go ahead. If you know you're gonna lose, you don't want to give your opponent such a big lead, you know? Because if it comes down to it, what if you guys have to come to comes to a tiebreaker and your differential just doesn't stand up, you know?
Yeah, and of course if they do, Sketchy has a pretty good draft overall. He's definitely got one of the more intimidating drafts. So I think he could easily pull it back. It's just that issue with preparation that he has.
Yeah, and
Lets him down.
It's just a matter of checking your like just draft. You just I mean your Pokemon when after you gen them. Oh hey,
Yeah.
this Pokemon doesn't have the right item. Let me just look at my computer. Oh okay, this Pokemon is supposed to have Choice Scarf, but I accidentally put Choice Band on it or something like that.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and put Choice Scarf on it. It's not that big of an issue. Have someone check your draft for you. You know?
Yeah.
It really annoys me when someone has to lose because of a genning issue, because of a preparation issue. Preparation is very important. Sketchy has an amazing draft. I feel like not bringing Kyurem Black was pretty good though, because that was something that a Nestor definitely built for.
Yeah.
But in the end, you still got beat, and it wasn't a Nestor who beat you. You really beat yourself that time. So, in the words of DJ Khaled, congratulations, you played yourself. Okay. So, do you want to move to 11?
Sure. So my 11th pick, and I feel kind of bad about this because it was really close between putting the number 11 and number 10 for me, but for number 11 I put the New York Shelmets, and I know that you're not too happy about this one.
Yeah. My 11 is different because, well, my 11 and 10 are switched, and your 11 and 10 are the opposite of mine. So you said 11 the Shelmets, and 10 would be the Staraptors, correct?
10 would be the Staraptors, yeah.
For my end, 11 is the Staraptors, and then comes the Shelmets. So, let's talk about the Shelmets first, all right?
Okay.
Honestly, Vinny played very well.
Yeah, Vinny played really well.
And I just feel like early game, though, True just played better.
Yes.
Okay? And the issue that happened was that Vinny really did lose to Hacks. I feel like Vinny had the win at the end with Mega Altaria, but the paralysis just got to him, and it really affected his late game.
Definitely. I don't even know what the chance to paralyze on Bolt Strike is. Is it, what, 30?
Yeah, I have no idea, but it's just at the start of the game when True was playing out of his mind at the beginning, to be honest. And Vinny said that. The True that we saw this season was not the same True that I saw last season. True was on a very big losing streak across 2 different leagues, might I add. Okay?
Yeah.
And then this season he came around. He picked a draft that I felt like he's very comfortable with. I really enjoy seeing his draft, and I feel like he brought the mons that he should have brought. He really did.
Definitely.
And I really enjoyed that battle. Like I said at the end, the nature of the beast was that Vinny is supposed to get paralyzed, and he did. So
that's such a bad way as well, because if he hadn't got paralyzed, he could have easily won it. Mega Altaria is just that good.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I feel like I'm not saying, hey, True, you played bad or anything. I just feel like at the very end, it dropped off just enough that potentially, if he wasn't paralyzed, it would have gone in a completely different manner, and you could have lost.
Yeah, definitely.
But in the end, you won. You beat the GBA D-League champion.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's a big win for you week 1, dude. I want to see more of this, True. I want to see more of this happen.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, one of those, we were just talking about this, how Gengar outspeeds the Scarfed Emboar.
Yeah, and
I was just literally just running calcs, and only Timid Gengar outspeeds that. If the Emboar isn't Jolly, which it wasn't, Timid Gengar outspeeds Scarfed Emboar by 2 points.
Yeah.
If not, I reckon Emboar would have at least taken out the Gengar, and that would have been a massive part on Vinny's.
Huge. That would have been huge. And predictions were well on both players. You know, the wild charge from Vinny.
Yeah.
What was it? There was this other prediction that he made, that True made. I forget what it was. It was early game. It was a switch prediction. It was just amazing. But the Skuntank being V created, that was crazy. That was crazy.
That was insane.
And I spoke to True about it, and we were unable to figure it out exactly how it happened. I guess it's just the way that Choice Scarfed changes to speed tiers are handled differently. I assume that's Nintendo handles it weird. But it was at -2, and it outsped. Vinny said he should have gone for the Sucker Punch. Yeah. But honestly speaking, I don't think anybody would have gone for Sucker Punch.
No, well, if you're at -2, even if you are Scarf at -2, you're gonna think you're gonna outspeed.
Yeah, so it was just, it wasn't something that I don't give Vinny like slack for that one, because he made the right choice. He really made the right choice.
Yeah, honestly, I think he played quite well. Like in regards to everyone else, he played quite well. But it's just that 3-0 was one of the bigger losses, so I had to put him down there.
Yeah, and he played quite well. I just feel like True played quite well. It was one of the better matches this week. And it really came out strong. True really showed that he knows how to use the draft that he has. But what I'm going to say this right now. I know True's a big fan of Victini. I want to see him change it around a bit, though. I want to see something else show up next week. I don't want Victini showing up every week, because then it just gets a little predictable.
Yeah.
But I am waiting for the Sun Boosted V Create, though. I'm waiting on seeing that.
I'm sure we'll see it multiple times.
Because I don't think anything is taking that.
Oh no, definitely not.
All right, so who are we? Are we speaking about Gearhart next, right?
Yeah, we're speaking about Gearhart.
Okay. I have a decent bit to say about Gearhart. But you want to go ahead and start it off?
Sure. Gearhart, I think he was overall he played decently. He didn't play particularly terribly, but it was another one of the sketchy issues where his preparation just wasn't all that. It wasn't all there. He was trying to be very
innovative.
Yeah, innovative. He's trying to be really original, and I don't think it worked out very well. We were speaking about Rivalry the other day.
Yeah, Nidoqueen, I think. Right. Yeah, it's just it wasn't good. There was one play that he made. He wanted to risk the HP Grass as well on for a switch in. Well, I felt like Scald would have been better off because
definitely because it would have done decent damage to anything really.
So just some points that are going out there. I feel like Gearhart, I noticed through his commentary, he felt like he kept falling behind. He's like, oh, I'm behind already. I know I'm behind already. I feel like you gotta have motivation too. You know what I'm saying? That mindset kind of hurts you. You know, being in that mindset, oh, I've already messed up. I think I'm already behind. Is not gonna help you out. You need to go ahead and sit there. Okay, let's think of how we can figure this out.
Just got to take your time and sort of look around and say, right, this is what I have to do.
What do they give you? A minute and 30 seconds?
Yeah, 90 seconds for a move.
Yeah, exactly. So you have a good amount of time to, calc everything, understand what you can switch into, all your options here. I feel like Gearhart was rushing a little bit. I feel like he was taking risks he didn't need to take, especially with that Scald. Heracross is in front of you.
You go for Scald.
You go for Scald, okay?
If nothing else, just fish for the burn.
Yeah, exactly. It's a 30% chance to burn. Not everybody has the luck. But you know what? Go for it. Because
definitely.
The plan is that if Heracross gets burned, then you know what? Heracross is pretty much useless.
Yeah, you've crippled it entirely. It's not coming back.
Yeah. So there's that. And then it was just the Nidoqueen with Rivalry just did not make sense to me.
No, nor me. I get that he was trying to prepare for, what was it? One of the Mons? I can't remember. Gardevoir, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was trying to prepare for the Gardevoir, but honestly, I feel like he could have done decent enough damage if he wasn't Rivalry, and on top of that, he could have damaged everything else on the team as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's he even lost at one point. Like it was, I think was it the Greninja? He used something on Greninja because Greninja is male. It does 25% less damage.
Yeah, he used a superpower.
Yeah, and it would have killed. It literally was going to kill if it was sheer force. It was going to kill if it was sheer force. Not only that, but even if it's a Gardevoir, it doesn't matter. Sheer force, like Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave or whichever one you're using, is going to kill.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because that thing is sheer force and it's a stab move, okay? And it's super effective against Gardevoir. You are going to kill Gardevoir at that point, okay?
Gardevoir's not even particularly bulky either.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the bulkiest mon in the game, and Nidoqueen is it's very powerful.
Yes.
Especially when running sheer force. I just don't know where Gearhart went wrong with that. I don't know what he was thinking behind the Rivalry, but I feel like if he wasn't running Rivalry, he really could have done what he needed to do. It's all I can really say.
Yeah. I agree completely with you.
In regards to Gearhart, that is.
Yeah.
So, who are we on to next? Number 9 and 8?
Or
do we have the same? We have the same one here.
We have the same one.
Yeah, okay. So, number 9.
Number 9, I put the United Kingler.
Okay, same here. Now, the only reason he's here in this point is because he lost.
Yes.
I feel like that he played very well. Both players played very well.
This was a really close match.
Yeah. There was just one thing at the very end that
the very end, the extreme the extreme speed.
Yeah.
That's it.
You made a good point with the extreme speed. There's really no reason to run it if you're running Choice Scarf.
Yeah. Greninja, what am I talking about? What's that thing called? I forget it. Genesect. Not Greninja. Genesect's fast enough already as it is, so there's no point in running extreme speed, especially if you're scarfed and you're locking yourself into something. You don't need priority, really, do you?
Yeah, because you're not really locking yourself into a move that's... It's a normal type move, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So it's usually resisted.
Yep.
Not only that, but it's like, let's just think about it. It's not going to be stabbed in this situation.
And on top of that, when your opponent has a rock type, which is known for being defensive in the back, you don't really have a reason to go for it over Iron Head or whatever. The alternative was.
He had Iron Head on him. Now I was looking into it. Okay, Iron Head wouldn't have necessarily killed Shaman,
right?
But because Shaman wasn't scarfed, it would not have. Genesect would not have died either.
Yeah.
If he clicked Iron Head, potentially he switches out, comes in. Here comes in
Mega Diancie.
Mega Diancie. This is a rock type and a fairy type taking an Iron Head. Okay?
Yeah.
A stab Iron Head. You're not.
It's gonna do crazy damage to that.
Yeah. It's not living. Not only that, Diancie really can't do anything to the Genesect. So it just kind of. I was just like at the end. I was like, oh no, that kind of sucks. Now. I understand what he could have done next. I know he was running Explosion. Once Diancie's dead, Shaman comes out. You can go ahead and switch into Medicham.
Yes.
And let Medicham go down. You come back out. Now you're free to just run Explosion. You win by 1-0. Okay. It just... I was just kind of confused at that. I don't know what your thoughts were when you saw that.
I feel like it might have been one of those situations where he was trying to go for a higher kill-death ratio, and he wasn't just trying to go straight out for the win.
Yeah.
And that's an issue that I think is going to become a thing in the series, that people are going to focus more on the differential than actually winning the match, and it's going to come back and it's going to bite them in the ass.
I'm telling you right now, winning is bigger than getting a differential. Okay?
Yeah.
A 1-0 win is going to mean so much more to you than risking a loss.
Yes.
You know? You if you lose 2-0, that sucks. But a 1-0 win would have been better than a loss in a 2-0. And I'm not going to judge Willow, because I feel like he played very well. He actually one thing that caught me off guard was I think he let Goodra get hurt very early on, but Lax really prepared very, very well, personally speaking.
That Mew with Lax was really good. I would not have predicted Ice and Fire Punch to
exactly.
On that thing.
But that's the thing with Mew, is that it's so unpredictable. It's so
the most versatile Pokemon in the game.
Yeah, it is. It's got amazing stats as well.
Yeah, 100 across the board.
So it's... I was just kind of confused. I was like, damn, Goodra really got hurt when it shouldn't have gotten hurt. I feel like that could have been dealt with a little better. But then again, it's very hard to predict. And Lax is a player that is hard to predict as well. He... I'm not sure if you've seen... Have you seen his older battles?
I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen a few of them.
Yeah, he's a playoff player. He went to championships. He went to the championships. He lost the championships in season 1, and then in season 2 he went to playoffs. So that tells you the type of player he is. He's really good. He prepared well. I feel like if that Shaman was choice scarfed, that would have been the only hindrance at the very end.
Yeah, definitely.
But other than that, that Ironhead would have won Willow the game.
Yeah, it was such a simple thing to go for as well.
Yeah, and he knew it too. He knew it too. He said it in the video. He's like, I should have gone for Ironhead.
Yeah.
I should have gone for Ironhead. And I was like, yeah, you should have gone for Ironhead. You should have gone for Ironhead. Because giving Lax a loss week 1 is very good. You don't want to get that man rolling.
Yeah.
Okay. He had a winning streak last season. I lost to him because I didn't misclick. I just judged it wrong. And
right.
I feel like that's what a lot of people do against Lax is because, personally speaking, he has the best draft as well too. So
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Willow, you played very well. It was just that last thing. It's just you're 9 on the list only because you lost in that manner. But other than that, I feel like you played superb.
Yeah, some of the play from this week was really good, considering what they were up against. Some of the plays were really, really good. But in the end, it's one of those things where I think people are just getting used to their drafts. That's what happens in week 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think the misplays and the bad plays, they'll go over time. Come week 3 or week 4,
yeah,
no more of
so,
them.
I mean, just continue preparing. Remember, jetting is important. Keep that in mind. Get someone to check it. Have Equa or I check it for you. You know, we're not gonna we're not here to
offer tips. We're not here to help.
Yeah, we're here to help. If you guys just send us your sets. Okay, hey, this set doesn't look right. It seems that you're missing some EVs or whatever. Keep that in mind. Just send us your mons. Let's go ahead and check it out. Oh, hey, you're missing an item on this. We'll tell you.
Yeah.
So that's for everybody. But I guess number 8.
Number 8 for me, I think for you as well, was the New York Clinks. New York Clinks. Where are they on my sheet?
This was a good match. I like this match.
Yeah, this was a very good match.
But once again, I wouldn't say hacks, but the rolls got him. At the very end. I really don't have much to say about these two players because I feel like it was a very straightforward match. And at the very end, the Clinks got beat by their own rolls. By the opponent getting a high roll.
Yeah.
You have any thoughts on this?
I mean, it was one of those things where they started off the match and Tops was setting up with the Manaphy. I think it was the Manaphy.
That was crazy.
That was the first thing that I thought, okay, this is going to be a really, really close match with the Thunder Punch critting and killing it. If that hadn't crit,
was he already burned?
In serious trouble.
Was Metagross burned at that time? Or
I don't think he was.
Okay.
I think because he was physically defensive, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't think he was. But that was the bit where I thought, right, this is going to be a really good match. And then it comes to the final play, and it was down to the wire. The Mega Metagross bullet punched the Mega Manectric, wasn't it?
Yes.
And it lived on 7 HP, went for overheat, and got a 30% chance to KO.
Yeah. And
that was
won.
So close.
Yeah.
That was insane.
It was crazy because at that because the thing with Manaphy is that I used it last season. Okay, they moved it up to S rank because of me. Remember that, folks. Manaphy is MVP. The M in MVP stands for Manaphy. I'm telling you right now, that Pokemon is ridiculous in this format.
It's amazing.
It literally the only thing water absorb or dry skin is the only thing that can really go against it in that sense. Because once it's set up with a couple Calm Minds or 2 Tail Glows, that's all it takes. It could potentially be the one of your worst nightmares. And I feel like because I feel like that really affected him. I feel like that when Top saw that, he handled it very well.
Yeah.
He did handle it very well because Manaphy going down is a huge hit against you because let's be honest, that thing could have swept if it's set up.
Oh, easily.
So I don't know how to say this week was, like I said at the beginning, this week had a lot of things happen in it where we just didn't see it coming. We saw someone win because we're that hit a lot more damage than what you would have expected it to or something like that. So
this match was just all in the rolls.
Yeah, it really was. It was a short match too.
It was, yeah.
It was very short, and I'm pretty sure C did it live commentary, and the match was and his video was around like 23 minutes. So that tells you that, and like I said, C only won by, what's his name? Tops won by what? 1-0, right?
Yeah, 1-0.
1-0 win. That means that it was very back and forth and very quick. So I don't know. I feel like once again, guys, you guys have time to choose your moves.
Yeah.
So
that was another thing in this match, particularly. I feel like it was very rushed. I don't know if that was just me, especially on Tops' part.
Yeah.
I just feel like he didn't take all the time that he needed.
Yeah.
And I know that he's a decent competitive battler, so I'm expecting him to sort of like slow down a bit in future. But I think for this one, it was just a little bit. Once he got that Manaphy out of the way, he panicked. I think.
Yeah.
Started rushing.
He got lucky. He really did get lucky. Tops, like all to you. You played well. You got him down to the line. Even if you lost 1-0, okay, you lost, but you lost a 1-0 battle. Okay.
Yeah.
Point being, I feel like when a match is 23 minutes and I see it done in live commentary, the first thing I see is, wow, someone got swept.
Yeah.
No one got swept here. It was just very quick choices. It was back and forth. In the end, a high roll won you the game, which was very low chance of getting a high roll.
Yeah, it's less than a third.
Which is crazy. It's crazy to think about. So, are we moving on?
Let's move on. Let's move on to this is the one that I have the most notes for, is this match.
This match with the Wild Charge and...
Yeah, the Wild Charge versus Talon Flames.
Okay.
I put obviously the Wild Charge lost, so I'm going to put those at number 7.
Same here. Now, I really, really like this match.
This was a great match.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. At the end, it kind of got me, and I was like, holy crap, I hope that thing isn't scarfed. Because, I'm not taking sides here, but it would have been, like, just crazy to see that come back. I feel like, who did he go against?
T-Train or Sharp Dress Gaming?
T-Train. I feel like T-Train really took it under control early game.
Yep.
Sharp brought it back, and then it was a 1-0 battle, depending on who outspeeds.
That last play in particular, I think it was the last play, when Sharp Dress Gaming thunderwaved whatever it was.
Latios, I think.
The Latios, yeah. And he could have gone for an offensive move.
Yeah.
And if he'd have gone for the offensive move, he would have won the game.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's one of those things where I feel like people didn't check what they could have done.
Yeah. Well, he mentioned it straight after. He thunderwaved that thing and he went, even if it's not scarfed, I would have won. Yeah,
because that was the thing, is like, you got to check beforehand.
Yeah.
Sharp sat there saying, oh my god, I thunderwaved. Pretty much it was all depending on if he was going to get the paralyze or not. You know? And
yeah, definitely.
You can't really work on that, because I think that's only 1/4 of a chance, and that's a Latios in front of you.
Yeah.
Was that a Mega Latios?
No, the Mega was, what's it? What did he bring the Mega? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I thought his Mega was Latios. Because I know he contracted Latios. That's what.
Let's see. Talon Flames Mega is Mega Slowbro.
Okay, yeah, he did bring Mega Slowbro. Okay,
yeah,
I do. He did bring Mega Slowbro. Now, I feel like Sharp was playing well, and I feel like both players played well. It just came down to Sharp just not checking beforehand.
Well, the thing that I noticed about T-Train is that he was completely ignoring the bad type matchups. He had Excadrill in against Landorus, and for whatever reason, Sharp Dress Gaming didn't go for Earthquake. I
feel like it's probably he went for Rock Slide.
Yeah.
I don't remember what Sharp was running on the Lando. I feel like he went for Rock Slide and then he was choiced into it. That was the big issue. But I mean, it makes sense. Okay, the idea is that you go for EQ. This thing is going to switch out on you.
I think he was predicting the Togekiss, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. That's the only thing I can think of. So it's like a Togekiss is going to come out, okay, whatever. But honestly speaking, I feel like he got himself stuck into a awkward situation. I don't blame him.
No.
I don't blame him. It's very hard to predict that.
Yeah.
A lot of people make that mistake, especially with Excadrill. sometimes it's just better just going with your gut, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like going for an EQ, okay, Excadrill is going to switch out or whatever, it makes sense. I've noticed recently, especially, like, I don't know what it is, but I've been watching battles lately, and I even did this 2 weeks back. I was running Sandrush Excadrill. I didn't switch out on a Donphan. Why? Because obviously this guy's going to go for a move where he's going to put up rocks or something because he thinks I'm going to switch out. And it's the obvious play.
See, that's one of those things that I feel like it's either really, really brave to do it or it's really, really foolish. Mm-hmm. And this wasn't even the last time that he did it. He had Nidoking in against the Togekiss. And he kept the Togekiss in. And it's one of those things where it's like, you can credit T-Train for not swapping out and predicting something else to come in, or predicting a move to deal with something else. Or you can credit Sharpness Gaming for predicting something else. But it's one of those things where, honestly, I think just go for the safe play.
Yeah. It happened at, I think it was the very first move, Sludge Wave on the Tangrowth. He went for Ice Beam.
Yeah.
It makes sense, you know? Okay, he's going to go for Sludge Wave. Let's go. He's going to switch out into something else. It makes sense. Let's go for Ice Beam.
Yeah.
Well, he stayed in. That was a really close win, though. I mean, he almost killed it. Just almost killed it.
Very nearly. But Tangrowth has poor special... He's got like base 50 special defense.
Exactly. It's... I don't think it was Assault Vest.
No, I don't think it was either. I think it was leftovers.
Yeah, he took the Assault Vest off of... He used knockoff. That's what I remember. And, okay, it makes sense. Does Tangrowth get EQ? That kind...
I don't think so. It would make sense that if it did, but I don't think it does for some reason.
Yeah, so... I usually run my Tangrowths with Assault Vest on them. I like building them specially defensively. T-Train took a lot of risks this match, and they went in his favor.
It did. But at the same time, if he pulls that stuff again in future, I can't see it working out for him every time.
Because it's a high risk, high reward, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
You're gonna... Potentially losing a Tangrowth at the start is ridiculous, considering how powerful that Mon is, especially the fact that it gets something like knockoff too. You know, it's crazy. He really risked it. I didn't want to see him risking it. It kind of it made me kind of cringe at some points because he did it 3 times. You mentioned one. We both mentioned the Excadrill. Yeah. So I don't know, but in the end, he won.
It was a really risky strategy, and it just paid off for him.
Yeah.
Only just, though.
I mean, Sharp is our last person to on the list of people that lost, number 7. Number 6 is Talonflames, okay? Yeah. Since they're both together, I'll just segue into the Talonflames here. I feel like the Talonflames are number 6 on the list at the bottom of the winners because, you know what? You won, congratulations. But you could have lost right there.
Very easily, yeah.
And I really didn't like him making so many risky plays.
Because what if Sharpness Gaming had gone for the safe play?
Exactly.
On both those times, he would have knocked out the Excadrill and he would have knocked out the Togekiss, and that would have crippled the entire team.
Exactly. Because you know what? I mean, in the end, I feel like when you're in the battle, many things can happen. Many things go through your head. But you did it 3 times. You pulled it off 3 times. So that's amazing. And at the very end, you only won because your opponent didn't double check.
Yeah, that was down to 1 move.
Yeah. So it's crazy to think that you took that many risks and you won. I'm just what kind of caught me off guard though is that how big, like, he took a decent lead at the start and then he lost the lead. You know? So it just I'm not sure what it is, but a lot of people, it seems, in the winners for some reason have taken a lot of got good momentum. We saw this with Lax as well. We saw this with True as well. They started out with great momentum, and then it just kind of whittled down to something where potentially they could have lost. But they didn't because of a misplay, a misread, or a hacks at the very end.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, we're not here to like beat him down or anything. He played okay, he played decently. But it's just one of those things where in future, if he takes that many risks, he's not going to win.
Yeah. The point is, you won by 1-0. Congrats, you got to win. Okay? But taking a risk doesn't always help because you know what? Gerhardt tried to be innovative. It didn't work out for him.
Yeah.
A lot of people try to be innovative. If your opponent did something where you just didn't expect it at all, it's not going to be in your favor. You won. I just recommend don't take as many risks, man. It's not worth it.
Yeah. That's it. That's the only advice that I can really give is just it's just not worth it. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, he won, but it wasn't by very much.
Yeah, and you won because your opponent made a mistake at the very end.
Mm.
So number 5.
Number 5 for me is the Knutsford Kabutops.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Clinks were in number 7, and there's not a lot you can say about this match.
Mm-hmm.
Tops had a very good start with the Manaphy doing what it did, and then he got immediately crippled with the crit.
Yeah.
And then he had to work his way back from it, and he did.
Yeah.
But in the end, I think this was the closest match.
Yeah. I mean,
it was all down to rolls.
It really was. The only reason I put Tops ahead of the Talonflames is once again Talonflames made plays that are questionable.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I also want to give Tops props for is that he brought it back after potentially the most important Pokemon in his team got critted and died.
Yeah.
You know? So that was amazing. You won on a roll. That's why you're in the winners part of it. But that's really all I can say, Tops. You know?
I mean, I think with Tops, he did do a really smart thing in saving that Mega Manectric. Mega Manectric is one of those mons that is really vital to keep alive.
Yeah.
And he did it well with Volt Switch and just switching it out when he knew it was going to outspeed or when there was a Bullet Punch incoming. And he knew he had to keep it alive, and he did. And ultimately, that was what won him the game, even if it was entirely down to luck.
Yeah.
Just on that last play.
Mega Manectric, I feel like a lot of people sleep on the Pokemon, to be honest. Yeah. It's not a Pokemon that a lot of people, I feel like, depend on when it comes to draft style, but it's a very, very fast Pokemon. Sure, it's like an EQ would kill it, especially like a stab one, but in the end, it usually outspeeds, and you can go ahead and take care of it.
Yeah, I mean, people say a lot of the time when they go into drafts, right, I need a fast electric type, and they either go for Jolteon or Raikou. But honestly, if you don't have a Mega, even if you do have a Mega, regular Manectric is still really good to have. It gets switch initiative, and it's strong. It's one of those mons that people really, really do sleep on. And if you don't prepare enough for it, then it will come back, even though that match was way too
Tops
risky.
used it well. It was a very close match.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry if you can hear people screaming. But I guess we'll move on.
Yeah. So in the number, what are we on? 4 now?
Yeah,
in the 4
4
slot for me is the Sydney Sea Kings. And again, this was down to a hairpin.
Yeah. I feel like Lax played very well.
Yep.
He built very well.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I think he has the best draft. Lax, even though he won by 2-0, when he didn't take those big risks.
Yeah.
He played how he should have played. It was just a matter of him winning because his opponent made the wrong decision at the very end.
Yeah, I think his team was really good example-wise because it was built great, and he was playing safe. And ultimately, if you want to win, that's what you got to do. It can take a little bit more time, and you might lose a few more mons than you'd like, but you will win.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, this happened to me a couple weeks back. Like, playing safe is just the way to go, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like, okay, I had a 6-0 that it was a 35-minute battle, and it was a 6-0. It's only because you take your time to play and do things like that where it gets you the win. Lax really did that. Now, of course, he's lower on the list for me because it was 1-2-0 win. It wasn't a huge big win.
Yeah.
But it was also he could have potentially lost at the very end.
Yes. definitely. That was down to the Genesect extreme speed again.
Mm-hmm.
But even if he hadn't iron-headed, it would have just been down to the wire.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have lost by a crazy amount, and we'd have given him credit for it. But it was, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's, again, down to a misplay at the very end.
Yeah. And I feel like it's crazy how, like, backwards this entire thing is. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of the people that you usually see at the top are at the bottom because of so many weird decisions that were being made. And I feel like Lax was a perfect example of just, taking his time, getting the win. Even if it's not a huge win, he got the win, okay? Yeah. And he built well, he took his time to build, and he got everything, like, he thought about it. I feel like if you need a good impression or a good example of who to go to understand how to play, or on how to understand for the draft format, how to build, or if you have potentially some of the mons that he has, if you're, say, watching from a different league, go to Lax's channel, figure out what his ideas and thoughts are, okay?
Yeah.
He's a great example of it. I'm very excited to see where Lax goes further on because he is always one of those guys that shows up at the very end. And, I mean, I can't say how it would have gone because Lax has, we often call him the late game god. Right. And I say that because you feel like you got the upper hand on him, and then at the last second he pulls out something you just don't expect him to do. Last season he did it with Mega Metagross, with in agility. He's done so many things where you just don't expect him to do it, and it just works in his favor.
And I mean, he's got the perfect mon with that as well, with the Mew.
Exactly.
It's, again, that Fire Punch, Ice Punch, I would not have seen it coming. It's not from a mile off.
Yeah. Lax is the last person you want to have with Mew, too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just the way he plays, he's a versatile player, and if you give a versatile player a versatile mon with base 100 stats across the board, you are going to have problems.
Yeah, it's just unpredictable. That's the word for it. It's just unpredictable.
That was a really good match, personally speaking. I feel like Willow said he didn't play well, but I feel like Willow did play well. Honestly, he played very well. Very good match. One of the more recommended matches from this week, personally speaking. Yeah. Time to go, move on?
Time to move on. Okay. So in the number 3, for me, I think you've got it differently, but for me, I put the Blackthorn Frogadiers.
And I had the Silk Scarfs. Now, we've already spoken about most of these people through through how they won. But I guess, I mean, we can't really talk more about them in the sense of like what they did. I just feel like Frogadiers and Silk Scarfs, you guys both played it out of your mind.
Yeah, definitely. I think for both of them, they had some really, really good plays that won them the match.
Yeah. The V-Create, once again, true. I don't know if you knew you were going to outspeed. Maybe you did. Maybe you knew you were going to outspeed. I have no idea how you did it, but you did it. It was one of the I was jaw dropped, dude. And seeing Vinny's face was the funniest thing.
It was hilarious. I replayed that like 3 times.
It was one of the funniest things ever because it was just he was in awe. I was in awe. I'm confused. Yeah. My brother is watching with me. He's confused. Okay? And we're just like, what the hell just happened? You know?
Yeah.
What the hell just happened? And it wasn't that. I feel like, once again, true, you took a big risk with that play. But you really, high risk, high reward, it worked out in your favor. At the end, it slowed down and it could have potentially gone bad. How did he get the paralyze on Altaria? Did he go for a T-Wave or was it through?
It was a Bolt Strike. It was a paralyze on Bolt Strike.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
And that was, I think that was the main thing that lost Vinny the game.
It really was because he got paralyzed right when, I think it was the first Cotton Guard he was trying to use? Or is it a D-Dance?
I think it was first D-Dance.
Yeah. Because once he D-Dances, once his speed is, back to normal, I think? So he's not as slow as everything anymore.
Yeah.
His attack is up, and then he had a Cotton Guard up later on in the game too, and it just didn't work in his favor. And then at the very end, I think he did die to a crit, though.
I think so. I can't remember.
He was supposed to live from previous damage. According to previous damage, he would have lived it, but I think he got a crit. He got crit at the very end, which kind of sucks for him. But I feel like both players played very well that time. Once again with the V create on the skunk tank. I don't know how you outsped. Vinny went for the right play. I think he went for he went for pursuit.
Even if you're -2, even if you are scuffed, if you're -2 and you're up against something that's not got any minus speed things, you're not going to go for a sucker punch. You're going to go for a regular move.
Yeah, and I think he was going for a pursuit because he was expecting Victini to switch out. That would have done crazy damage. Considering
that was probably the best play.
Yeah, it's just a matter of, I guess, Nintendo's. I don't know what Game Freak does with that. It was crazy. It's once again one of the better matches. I can't really say much about the Silk Scarfs because we really talked about what they did when it came to the Shelmets. Yep. Vinny, you really lost to the hacks, but I feel like True, you gotta think about late game as well, because if he wasn't hacks, you could have potentially lost big time there.
Yeah.
And it's scary to think that someone like Vinny, I didn't even think about it like that. You know what I'm saying? When I was sitting there watching it, I'm like, okay, what is Vinny gonna do? And he came up with this idea. I'm like, that's genius. That's genius. It's just, man, it was crazy.
It was insane.
Frogadiers.
Frogadiers. One thing that I have noted about the Frogadiers is obviously with the rivalry. I think Nidoqueen was up against Greninja or something, and I thought this was great. I don't know if it was like intentional or whatever.
The Hydro Pump?
I think it was, the Hydro Pump that was rain boosted.
Yeah. You used your opponent's rain to do your dirty work.
Yeah.
And it worked in your favor, man. I mean,
honestly, because Hydro Pump would have been stab anyway.
Yeah.
It would have been the logical thing to go for. But just with the rain, it was so
it's
good.
It's guaranteed. You're guaranteed. Yeah. The only issue is that if it misses.
Yes.
But he played very well. I feel like he did an amazing job predicting with Klefki. He was making a lot of switch-ins and switch-outs. Once again, your opponent didn't bring the best that he could. And
yes.
That sucks. And I really hate saying that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I feel like I'm giving all these people, I'm like, oh, you got the win, but there's this, you know?
Yeah.
And I hate saying that to all of you because you know what? Silk Scarfs and Frogadiers, you guys, number 2 or number 3, whether you are number 2 on his list or number 3 on mine or whatever, however it is, you guys played very well. It's just, it sucks that I have to say that.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because the majority of people played quite well, considering they're getting a feel for their team and stuff like that. They played and they prepped quite well, but it's just, you got to find the little niches and things, haven't you?
Yeah. Gearhart, once again, you risked it big time, okay? Don't make risks like that. There's no reason to run rivalry. I understand you did it for the Gardevoir or even the Klefki, but it's not worth it. You know, sheer force is just going to do that much more damage. And especially if it's stab. Once again, stab EQ, Klefki is not going to be taking that. Sludge Wave or whatever, Gardevoir is not going to be taking that if it's sheer force. There's no reason to run rivalry. Frogadiers, one thing I did need to mention about you is if you have a Mega, you have to run the Mega Stone. Okay, you're not told to do first turn Megas, but you're not allowed to run any sort of other item on it because you did run leftovers. So keep that in mind. I feel like your opponent didn't bring a Hacks remover, which is huge.
Yep.
Because I'm telling you right now, not Hacks, Hazards, excuse me. Hazards really helped you out here. Your Klefki game was on point, man.
Even though Gearhart made the the Tornadus specifically for that Klefki.
Yeah.
It's one of those things again where it was a Mon made specifically for another Mon. It didn't quite work out, and even then the Klefki got around it.
Yeah.
And hazards are just a major thing. There's not a lot of hazard removal in this league. Looking at the team sheet, there's not a lot of hazard removal, so hazards are a major thing.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. I feel like did Gearhart put up any hazards? He might have put up.
I don't think he did.
Okay.
He might have.
Maybe it was Rock's late game, Guys, remember, hazards are there to help you. You know, run them. It's especially if you feel like you can, your opponent doesn't have the greatest spinner, doesn't have the best defog. There's no reason not to run them. Frogadiers played the hazards very well, in my opinion. Did he put up spikes? He got 2 layers of spikes up, or 3?
I think it was 2.
Even with 2 layers of spikes, That's
still doing a lot of damage.
Ridiculous amounts of damage. Ridiculous amounts of damage. And the way he built that Klefki was amazing because it was taking hits. Yeah, that's it. That's all I could say about the Frogadiers.
Yeah.
And number 1?
Number 1, as we all thought was going to come in, is Anesta with the Detroit Cobalions. Anesta played quite well.
Yeah.
That's it. He just played quite well. He prepped well and he played well, and it got him a 5-0.
Yeah. Even if your opponent didn't do what they were supposed to do, you played very well. And the reason I say that, once again, let me bring up the Sylveon situation again. Even if Sylveon had Pixelate, you're an Aegislash. Okay? It's doing nothing to you. It's just not doing anything to you. You're I feel like you prepared very well for even the mons that he didn't bring.
Yep.
Nestor told me this. I'm surprised he didn't bring. He said he was surprised that he didn't bring Kieran Black. I'm also surprised he didn't bring Kieran Black. Okay.
Yeah, I could see why you'd want to bring it.
Yeah, and come on, man. Like Heatran, just looking at the mons he brought, Heatran just was going to run through. Okay. Aegislash was just going to run through. It's scary to think that Nestor has he has a very good draft.
It's very, very strong.
Yeah.
It's balanced as well.
Yeah, it's a very good draft. It's just, once again, I'm saying this, I have to say this again, it sucks because I feel like I've said this about every single player so far. I don't know what your opponent was doing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You played superb, but your opponent just didn't. I don't know what to say. And it's not frustrating or anything. It's just, guys, it's simple things that you need to work on, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's simple things. And Nestor, I'm not taking anything away from you. 5-0 victory. You put yourself ahead, man. You put yourself ahead. And to think that everybody else, what was the biggest difference so far? Was it how much did Frogadiers win by?
Frogadiers won by 3-0.
Okay, so 3-0, 3-0. We had 2 3-0s. Everybody else was we had a 2-0, and then we had 2 1-0s.
Yeah.
And then we have a 5-0. Dude, you put yourself ahead. Point is that if you lose now, okay, down the line, it's won't be as bad because, hey, you put yourself ahead very early on in the game. You played very well. Don't lose down the line. But, wow, man, congrats. I praise what you did.
Yeah, and I think it's really, it shows if you're a really good battler because Anesta brought 6 mons and he only ended up using 4. He didn't even send out the Porygon 2 or the Salamence.
Exactly. You know you have an issue, sketchy to you. You know you're going to have an issue if your opponent is able to beat you with not all their mons.
And as well as that, the Aegislash didn't set up at all, and it swept 4-0.
So, I'm just... sketchy, you're welcome to comment below. You're welcome to go ahead and give your thoughts out, and we're here to help you. Cobalions...
yeah, we're not here to like beat down on Sketch or anything. It's just, you know, if you need any help with drafting or anything, ask.
Yeah. Cobalions, you played out of your mind. I really don't know what more to say about this battle. Because
it was just so niche and clean. And
yeah. The most I can say, because the most I had to say was about Sketchy in regards to this battle. In regards to Nestor, you played amazing, man. You really played well. I like what you did, and you built well. I feel like even if Sketchy brought any other mons, Nestor built well.
Yes.
So
easily.
That's. Do you have anything else to say about him?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay. Once again, you were prepared, dude. Great stuff. I want to see more of this. Okay? And that's all I could say. You want to wrap it up?
I can wrap it up if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright. So, yeah, not much else we can say about that. So, I want to go ahead and say thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to click the like button because it tells us that we're doing a good job and that you guys want to see more. And coaches, if you need any help with anything, talk to us.
Yeah.
We are here. That's what we're here for.
We're here to help you guys out. We're judging you, but I'll still judge you even if I wasn't helping you out. You know, that's the idea.
Yeah.
So
So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will talk to you guys in the next video.
All right. See you later.